My name is TJ, and today's class is stretch break. So for this particular class, you don't really need anything, just yourself. We're going to do some stretches. So kind of starting it off, it's more like stretch and like mobility. So just having your hands kind of out by your side, even if they're slightly angled down. And then I want you to move through, give yourself a great big hug, and then back out, and then give yourself a great big hug. I usually like to overlap and alternate which arm ends up on top. So just hugging and just moving. All right, so continuing with the same motion of the hug is that I'll turn to the side. And so this time we're going to be stretching through the muscles of the back and also through the back of the leg while we get a little bit of movement in that spine. So I want you to slowly roll down like you feel as if one vertebrae at a time is moving. Like a slinky, if any of you know what that is. And when you get to the very bottom, I want you to reach for your toes or your ankles or your calves. And just feeling the pull through the back, through the hamstrings. If it makes it a little easier, you can always put a slight bend in your knee just so you don't feel it through the back. All right, I want you to give yourself a great big hug again. And move in reverse. So slowly rolling up, one vertebrae at a time. When you get to the top, I want you to roll your shoulders back 3 times. And then I want you to roll forward 3 times. And then we're going to do it again. So just one more. Great big hug. Slowly roll down. So feeling that stretch in your spine, traveling down your back as you move down. And again, drop the hands, either reaching for the calf, the ankle, or the toes. Holding it there. Excellent. Give yourself a great big hug. Slowly roll back up, one vertebrae at a time. And then stand tall. And I want you to roll back 3 times with the shoulders. And I want you to roll forward 3 times with the shoulders. Excellent. All right. You can do this in the chair, which I did not grab, but I will use the floor. All right, so sitting on the ground, and I will turn slightly angled just so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so grabbing your toes, but my legs are bent, so roughly at 90 degrees, and I want you to slowly walk them out. If it starts to get too difficult, just pause where you are and just hold and try to keep the toes pointing straight up. Even if you feel this in the back of your calf, which is an excellent stretch, especially if you wear a heel that's bigger than like 1.5 inches or like high heels that are a lot higher. All right, slowly walk it back in and just pause for a moment. And slowly walk it back out. Again, wherever you feel the pull, whether it's the back of the leg or through the back, or the back of the lower leg or the back of the upper leg, I want you to hold it there. Excellent. Again, still keep the toes pointing straight up, even if they're slightly pointed back towards you. All right, walk it in. Awesome. All right. So the next one, I always make a reference to kindergarten. I don't know why. So crisscross applesauce. So I want you to cross your legs Indian style, and I want you to reach forward. So I'll just slightly scoop back just a little. So slightly reach forward. And so when you're doing this movement, you're feeling that pull in the low part of your back, just holding it there. All right, so now let's get some motion going. So I want you to walk it over to your left, just a little bit, just to where your, like the middle part of your upper body is in line with your knee. So feeling that stretch on the left, or well, in this case, the right side. Feeling it on the right side through the oblique or through the side of your core. All right, slowly walk it back to center and just hold. Again, back to that middle, feeling through the low back. All right, slowly walk it over to the right. Again, just to where the upper body, the middle of your torso, is in line with your knee. And just now feeling that stretch through the left side of your core, through the oblique. All right, walk it back to center and just hold. Excellent. All right. So for the next one, we're going to get onto hands and knees. And what I want you to do is I want you to sit back for a moment, and then I want you to come up to cat cow, and then I want you to arch your back, and then push your spine down. So cat cow, and then I want you to fall forward. And again, even if it's like little mini cobra, where you're up on your elbows or up on your hands. Again, so we're doing mobility where you're moving and you're stretching it at the same time. All right, so come back into child's pose again. So again, just stretching out through the low back for a brief moment. All right, so again, having your shoulders over your hands, hips over your knees, cat cow, so cat, so arching your back, keeping that core or your belly button drawn in towards your spine, and then I want you to push it down, cow. Excellent. And then come forward in either mini cobra or regular. So just feeling that stretch through your abs, your abdomen, front part of your torso, either on your elbows or on your hands. Excellent. All right, so for the next one, again, turning to the side. All right, so holding your arm at 90 degrees, I want you to take your right hand and pulling back onto your left palm. And I want you to extend that left arm out. And then I want you to bring it back in. And then I want you to push it back out all while you're still pushing on your palm. So feeling the stretch through the bicep, arm into your forearm, which is the lower part, back in, back out. All right, let's change. So still keeping with the left arm, we're now going to put that hand flat on our back, and we're going to pull our elbow towards our head and just feeling the stretch through the back of the tricep. And what I want you to do, and which I will turn so you can see what I'm doing, take your hand that's flat on your back, and I want you to turn your wrist. So turn it to where it feels kind of odd just because you have to turn your hand, but feeling that stretch a little bit differently in the back of your arm, the tricep. Excellent. Now hand flat on your back. And one more time, I want you to turn that wrist if possible. Excellent. All right, so let's switch and go with the right arm. Okay, so right arm at 90 degrees. Your left hand is going to pull on your right palm, and then you're going to push that right arm out, and then bring it back in, push it out, still while pulling on your palm and feeling again that stretch through the lower part of your forearm into your bicep, back in, and then push it out, still pulling, and then back in. Excellent. All right, now let's change that. So a hand flat on your back, and now the left hand is going to grab the right elbow and pulling that right elbow towards your head and feeling that stretch through the back of your right arm. Excellent. All right, so if you remember, so taking the hand flat on your back and turning your wrist out and feeling that stretch a little differently. All right, hand flat on your back. Turn that wrist out again. Excellent. All right, one last stretch, just really quickly. I want you to stand and I want your feet apart. And what I want you to do is you can hold your hands here, but I want you to just kind of slightly lean back. So I'll turn to the side so you see my feet are still apart, sitting back, feeling the stretch through the inner part of the thigh. So in this case, my left leg is straight, my right leg is bent. I feel that stretch just a little bit, don't push too much. And now I want you to switch. So again, now the left leg is bent and the right leg is straight. Again, just feel it out, don't push too much. Feeling that stretch through the inner thigh. Let's do it one more time. Move it to the right. So the left leg is straight. Feeling it through the inner thigh on the left. And last time, move it to the left and feel that stretch through the right. And back to center. All right. Excellent job, you guys. Good job, good job. All right, so thank you for joining me for our stretch break. We have